1216. Excludes clearance styles. Selection varies by location. U.S. only. See store for details.
Sharing the word that changes the world. 101.5 WORD FM, Pittsburgh, a service of Salem Media Group.
The following program is furnished by Cranberry Family Chiropractic.
You're listening to Maximize Living Radio with Drs. Nick and Aaron Greiner and Dr. Alex Pattison. Maximize Living Radio is a live call-in program designed to help you get the most out of life. And now, with answers to your health questions, here are your hosts, Drs. Nick, Aaron, and Alex.
Good morning, Pittsburgh. You're listening to Maximize Living Radio. I'm Dr. Alex Pattison. As always, I'm here to teach you, to inspire you, and to coach you to your maximize living potential. Now, I've got an amazing show for you this morning. I'm going to talk to you about what's on my heart. And the reason why it's on my heart is because if you turn on your TV, you open up your favorite magazine, you walk through the aisles of your grocery store, we are just inundated in the month of October with cancer awareness. We've been fighting this war on cancer for nearly 40 years, and where has the war gotten us? Where are we at on the front lines? Well, here's some statistics that are going to scare you quite a bit. Right now, it's 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women that are going to hear the words, it's cancer, in American society. That's from the American Cancer Society. It's a coin flip, men, that are listening right now. If you will be diagnosed and hear the 2 worst words on the face of the planet, it's cancer. Ladies, it's not much better for you. It's 1 in 3. What does the National Cancer Institute say? As a young father of 2 little children at home, this one just absolutely breaks my heart. Cancer is the leading cause of death when it comes to disease of U.S. children over the age of 1. And we are literally going backwards, listeners, in this war on cancer. We're not winning. In fact, we're losing at a worse rate than we ever have before. According to the Journal of Lancet Oncology, one of the top medical research institutions on the face of the planet when it comes to cancer, states that global cancer rates are expected to rise by 75% by the year 2030, just 14 short years away. And it's really, we couldn't live in a worse state when it comes to this disease. There's only 3 states in the union that has higher cancer incident rates than Pennsylvania. New York, Florida, and Texas have higher. PA is the 4th. In the country. So if you're listening to this program right now with the statistics that I just shared you, it is a must that you begin to empower your life, empower your health, to begin to implement lifestyle choices that stop this disease process in its tracks to truly become a cancer killer. And I want to share with you just why I get so worked up and passionate about this disease process over this time of the year. Because specifically, my mother heard the words, it's cancer, just about a decade and a half ago. And I can remember coming home from college and sitting down at the kitchen table with my mother and with my father and them looking up at me and having to hear the words that it's cancer. As a result of that, we did what the average American family did. We jumped right into combating this disease. We did the surgery. And we were on a drug called tamoxifen. My mother began taking this drug called tamoxifen, which at the time, and it's still prescribed to women and men today that are diagnosed with breast cancer. At the time, it was touted as a wonder drug. It was going to drastically decrease the incident rates of cancer from developing inside of my mother. And we were excited about this drug, so we took it. And we took it for quite some time, for about 4 years. And 4 years later, that drug got a FDA black label warning, the highest drug warning that a drug can get, because while it was known at decreasing the incident rates of breast cancer from reoccurring, it drastically took the incident rates of uterine cancer through the roof. Or if a woman took this drug long enough, it was almost a 100% chance, the chances went through the roof of a woman coming down with uterine cancer. So what did they do? They prophylactically removed my mother's uterus and her ovaries, which caused her to have none of the organs inside of her body that made her a woman anymore. And I can remember when I heard that news from the oncologist that we're going to begin to combat this disease we're going to combat her cancer with a known carcinogen. And I remember questioning that in my head. Doctor, you're telling me that our best chance of overcoming this disease is taking a medicine that is a known carcinogen. And his answer was yes, this is what we need to do in order to stay alive. What I want to do today is begin to empower you of the lifestyle changes that my mother began to put into her life, that hundreds of Pittsburghers have been able to put into their life and truly become a cancer killer. She's healthier now than she's ever been. We just got back from an amazing weekend. An amazing week, for that matter, at the beach with her. She's playing with my kids, her grandchildren. She's in the pool. She's in the ocean. She's having a blast. This disease process can be overcome, and I want to teach you and inspire you this morning how to do just that, how to become a cancer killer. If those statistics that I shared with you at the beginning of the show frightened you and scared you, if you're looking for the information, if you're looking for the discovery of how to become a cancer killer, I'm going to encourage you to pick up your phone and give us a call at 724-766-0154 and get yourself registered for our Cancer Killers event coming up on October 24th. That's Monday evening, October 24th. I've got 2 locations right here in Pittsburgh. We're going to be hosting this event. The first one is going to be in the South Hills at Gianna Villa's at 6:30 p.m. If that date and that time and that location does not work for you, don't worry. Just a couple of miles away on the other side of the city in Cranberry Township, Dr. Aaron and Dr. Nick are going to be hosting theirs at Bravo Family Restaurant, again in Cranberry Township at 6:30 p.m. Tickets today and today only, listeners, are $20. You have to give us a call at 724-766-0154 right now in order to ensure that you get one of those seats. As always, seating is extremely limited, and we will be serving dinner at this event, so your $20 is not only getting you the information to have you discover what you need to do to eliminate from your life and to add into your life to become a cancer killer, but because dinner is going to be served, that $20 is going to get you the information, the knowledge to begin to make those changes, as well as an amazing healthy dinner. Give us a call at 724-766-0154. If you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Alex Pattison. I'm talking with you this morning on how to become a cancer killer. I shared with some statistics just a few moments ago. I want to share with you just one more before we move in to the brunt of what we need to do this morning in order to empower you into becoming a cancer killer. Since the war on cancer was waged, we've spent billions of dollars. We've stood up to cancer. We've raced for a cure. We've spent billions upon billions of dollars seeking cures for this. And what I can tell you right now, and what the medical research will tell you right now, is that cancer rates are 3 times higher now after the billions of dollars that have spent, the decades of research that has gone, and we are 3 times worse off from this disease. And I'm here to tell you that's because the money and the research are going into the wrong areas when it comes to cancer. We're looking to combat cancer head on, front on. We want to fight it. That's not how we combat cancer. What we need to do is understand what allowed the cancer to proliferate inside of a human being. Perhaps you have a diagnosis right now. Perhaps you have a family history of cancer. There are certain lifestyle things. There's certain toxins. There's certain accumulation of bad fats inside of the body. There's nutrient deficiencies that begin to cause cancer cells to proliferate and to take over. And if you can begin to empower yourself and understand exactly what cancer is, what we're going to be teaching at this particular event is how you can truly begin to combat this disease on the front lines, prime your body to be healthier than you've ever been, so that you can decrease drastically the incident rates of you having to hear the words, it's cancer. Not only are we not looking in the right areas, and when I say we, I mean we as an American society, we're going to show you some different avenues to approach this cancer, but I mean more on a federal aspect of where pharmaceutical industries and the FDA and certain agencies are going right now when it comes to combating this disease. There has been plenty of procedures and protocols that have been extremely effective in cure rates naturally without scary side effects that the chemo and the radiations and surgeries have. I'm not here to tell you that those things are horrible. I'm not here to tell you that those things are bad, but I think we can all agree the very scary and real side effects that are associated with those particular treatments, and I will go through those with you in just a few moments. But there's been plenty of clinics that have been set up, like the Gerson Institute down in what was California. They were chased out of the United States and had to go down to Mexico. He had phenomenal cure rates simply by juicing and doing specific types of colonics. Brzezinski was literally scared away from practicing here in the United States with his anti-neoplastone therapies, which documentaries have been done and showed over and over and over again the efficacy of this particular treatment of helping individuals overcome cancer. However, they did not get FDA backing. They did not get government backing. And many of these clinics where we're seeing these amazing cure rates were labeled as quackery and were chased out of the United States. When we look at this disease process, we need to stop following the powers that be that look at it as this invading disease and really understand cancer at a fundamental process of what causes it to develop inside of the body. We need to understand that things like high doses of vitamin C have been very effective of helping an individual manage and overcome these particular diseases. We need to understand nutritionally what drives this particular disease process, cancer, to take over. You hear us talk week after week after week on the negative aspects and what happens when an individual consumes too much sugar. Sugar is the primary fuel source for cancer cells inside of the body. In fact, a cancer cell has 16 times more receptors for sugar on it than a normal, healthy cell. And the oncological research, the cancer research, knows this. Your oncologist knows this. Your medical doctor knows this, because how do we find cancer cells? How do we find tumor inside of a sick individual? Well, we do what's called a positron emission tomography, a PET scan. And we take a radionucleotide of glucose, we inject that into an individual's bloodstream, and then we do a CT scan of them shortly after that time period. And literally the tumor glows in the CT scan because this radionucleotide, this radioactive glucose, this radioactive sugar is taken up into those cancer cells to feed it. So we've known that sugar is the fuel source for cancer for decades. We find cancer inside of a cancer patient to see if it's growing and specifically where that tumor is by feeding it sugar. But I have not heard from one medical doctor or one oncologist that helps their patients remove sugar from their lifestyle and from their diet. In fact, I've had family members have been diagnosed with this disease and were told it doesn't matter what you eat whatever you have to do. I've had practice members whose children were in Children's Hospital fighting the worst fight of their life, bald, sick, depressed, not sleeping, and literally being fed ices and popsicles and candy. And it breaks my heart, and the mothers of these children, it breaks their heart knowing that this poison, this fuel for this disease process is going inside of those children, but it's happening every single day because we are not fighting the right fight when it comes to cancer. And I want to teach you the diet protocols that I didn't come up with, that have been taught for decades upon decades of helping individuals prime their body to really begin to stop feeding the cancer cells, help the healthy proliferation of healthy cells inside of the body. I'm not trying to tell you not to do chemo, radiation, or surgery, but again, we talked about just a few moments ago that we as a population all understand that there are consequences, negative consequences and side effects of these medications. We need to get our body as healthy as possible if these are the routes that we're going to go to combat our cancer. And what's amazing about what we're going to be teaching right here in Pittsburgh in a few short weeks is whether you want to attack this thing and make sure that you never get it, or you're currently going through cancer treatments and you want to understand how to get your body as healthy as possible to make these treatments as effective as possible. You have one choice and one choice only. Don't become the statistic, the 1 in 2 men and the 1 in 3 women that are now hearing the words it's cancer at one point or another in their lifetime. We want to teach you and empower you how to become a cancer killer. So pick up your phone and give us a call at 724-766-0154. By calling that number, you're going to get yourself registered for one of 2 community dinner events taking place right here in Pittsburgh. You've got an option with me in the South Hills at Gianna Villa's Family Restaurant at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, October 24th. If that location doesn't work for you, if you're not conveniently in the South Hills, don't worry. We've got another amazing workshop hosted by Dr. Aaron and Dr. Nick. You hear them on the radio every week that just happened to be away this weekend. They're going to be hosting their workshop in Cranberry Township, same date, Monday, October 24th, same time, 6:30. It's just going to be at Bravo Family Restaurant in Cranberry Township. The cost to attend, listeners, is only $20. We actually had to turn people away last week because we had so many people calling. We've had to get bigger venues. We've had to get bigger spaces. We've had to set aside more time and more surface area for Pittsburghers to attend. So I want to make sure that you get one of these very limited tickets by picking up the phone and giving us a call at 724-766-0154. Now, if you do not get through on that first call, that does not mean that we're sold out. That does not mean that you're not going to have the opportunity to attend. It just means that we're helping somebody else. What I'm going to encourage you to do is to very clearly leave your name and your phone number, and then stay by your phone, and our operator will give you a call back in the order that your call was received, so she won't even answer another call before she gives you a call back. The lines are only open for another 45 minutes till the noon hour, and then the phone lines are down. So this is something that you have to do right now. You have to give us a call at 724-766-0154. That number again is 724-766-0154. If you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Alex Pattison. You're listening to Maximize Living Radio. We're talking about cancer, specifically now being in October and it being Cancer Awareness Month. We've talked about where all this awareness have gotten us over the years. Cancer rates are worse than they've ever been. Pennsylvania is one of the leading states in the union for incidence rates of cancer. We as Pittsburghers live in one of the most toxic areas and the most toxic corners of the United States. Environmental Protection Agency, or the Environmental Working Group, rates our air quality and our water quality is the worst 10th percentile in the United States. Toxins are one of the leading causes of cancer from developing inside of the body. So if you're a Pittsburgher listening to this radio program right now, if you're not doing something to prevent cancer inside of your body, the statistics are not good. And nobody told my family that growing up. Nobody told my mother that growing up. We didn't know the statistics. We didn't know what drove this disease process from developing inside of our body, and we were in the fight of our lives trying to overcome it. And I'm going to teach you, Dr. Aaron and Dr. Nick are going to teach you exactly the protocols that our family went through, that literally hundreds of Pittsburgh families have gone through right here in the area to combat and overcome this disease. You are a natural-born cancer killer. You don't believe me? If what I shared with you earlier statistically didn't scare you, here's something that's really going to scare you. Inside of your body right now, you have anywhere between 100 and 10,000 cancer cells. I'm going to say that again. In a healthy human being, me right now, I woke up, I had a nice healthy breakfast, took a handful of supplements, got my chiropractic adjustment, did a quick exercise before the radio program, had my 8 hours of sleep last night, drank a bunch of clear filtered water this morning. I'm doing everything that I can in order to be as healthy as possible. Even inside of my body right now, there's 100 to 10,000 cancer cells. A lot of you look at that as scary, but I want to empower you to have you understand that that's the best news you've heard all week. In fact, it may be the best news you've heard all year, because we've been created to recognize these rogue cancer cells. Our immune system, our bodies have been created to recognize these rogue cancer cells and effectively eliminate them and destroy them before they become problematic. 10,000 may sound like a big number, but we need to get that number into the millions, the tens of millions, into the billions, before that tumor cell, before that cancer will kill you. Now, here's the scariest part yet. This month in October, we're talking quite a bit. When I say we, again, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the American public on this disease process. We're told about early detection. A cancer cell has a doubling rate of 90 days. So you have one cancer cell inside of your body today. 90 days from now, if your body doesn't recognize that cancer cell and eliminate it, you have 2. 90 days from there, you have 4, then 8, then 16, then 32, and then so on and so on and so on. Every 90 days, those numbers are growing. By the time that our best imaging can find cancer cells, it's been growing and doubling inside of your body for about a decade, for about 10 years. And by the time it shows up on that preventative screening, it's already considered a deadly cancer. What has happened? What has allowed an individual to walk in to a doctor's office feeling amazing and walk out of there with a deadly cancer, it's one thing. A body that stopped recognizing these rogue cancer cells from developing inside of the body, stopped destroying these rogue cancer cells from developing inside of the body because their body was overcome by an improper lifestyle, too many toxins, not enough oxygen, a pH that was thrown out of whack, an individual whose cortisol levels are elevated, they're not absorbing and digesting their food the way that they're supposed to, and they have a neurological interference that stops their brain from pinpointing and recognizing rogue cancer cells from developing, sending natural T killer cells and other immune fighting cells inside of the body that are specifically designed and created to find and recognize and kill cancer cells. That's the only way that it happens. It's the only way that it becomes deadly is when our body no longer does what it was divinely created to do. And myself, Dr. Nick, and Dr. Aaron are going to be teaching right here in Pittsburgh how to begin to elicit responses immunologically inside of your body to truly become a cancer killer, to kickstart all of these amazing gifts that we've been given to overcome this disease. We're going to be teaching that again on October 24th. For you to attend, for you to discover this, you've got to pick up the phone right now, and you've got to give us a call at 724-766-0154. By calling that number, you're going to get in touch with one of our operators. She is going to ask which location works best for you. We've split the city in half, as we always do. We have a South Hills location with myself at Gianna Villa's Family Restaurant, 6:30 p.m., Monday, October 24th. We have a Cranberry Township location, Bravo Family Restaurant, 6:30 p.m., with Dr. Nick and Dr. Aaron. You're going to call 724-766-0154 to speak to our operator to get yourself in one of those seats. Seating is extremely limited, and listen, folks, we have just a few spots remaining in both of these events. Tickets today and today only are $20, and not only are we going to teach you how to become a cancer killer, the nutritional protocols, the supplemental protocols, the sleep protocols, the immune protocols, the gut protocols. We're going to be feeding you an amazing, healthy dinner to show you how to begin to become that cancer killer. The number you're going to call is 724-766-0154. That number again is 724-766-0154. By attending, you're truly going to really begin to understand what cancer is and what allows it to continue to grow, what stops our body from keeping up with it and destroying these tumor cells. And really, there's two processes that I think are paramount in truly understanding cancer. And most of the cancer patients that walk through our door or that I meet out into the public never have even heard of these two biological processes that take place inside of the body. The first is called angiogenesis. And what angiogenesis is increased blood flow to a tumor cell and to a tumor or a cancer that's growing inside of a body. So what happens is that a tumor requires an inordinate amount of energy. So it has to create new capillary beds that grow to the tumor. It's a process called angiogenesis. Pharmacologically speaking, there are billions of dollars that are being spent right now trying to pinpoint specific pharmaceuticals that will stop the angiogenesis process. They're already on the market. Cancer drugs, anti-angiogenic medications. There's obviously a lot of side effects as a result of these medications, but there are plenty of amazing nutrients right here on planet Earth that are anti-angiogenic in nature. They stop the proliferation of these capillary beds from forming. They stop the feeding of these cancer cells and can actually begin to reduce and eliminate the fuel supply and the energy that's required in order for these to grow. So why wait for this drug that's developed that's going to have side effects like so many other drugs that develop, and why not begin to put in these anti-angiogenic nutrients inside of your body to allow your body to overcome and truly begin to combat this disease process on the forefront? Again, maybe you're doing cancer and, maybe you're doing chemo and radiation. Maybe you've already had a surgery. I'm not telling you that hope is over and that that's bad. If that's the decision you've made, good for you. I'm glad you're doing something. I'm glad you're fighting it. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is to prime your body to overcome it, to understand this disease process, and to truly begin to overcome it. We're going to talk to you about apoptosis, another really important biological process inside of the body when it comes to cancer proliferating inside of the body. Apoptosis is programmed cell death. Our cells are supposed to die. Cancer cells don't. They, for lack of a better term, they become immortal. Specific DNA sequences are shut down, and the cell does not die. It proliferates and proliferates and proliferates and causes that tumor to grow, causes that cancer to grow. And that cancer, when it begins to shut off blood supply to specific organs, begin to compress certain organs and stop them from functioning, is what ultimately kills us. We want to show you specifically how to allow apoptosis to take place. We want our cells to die. We get a new gut every couple of days. We get a new heart every 90 days. Our cells are constantly being replenishing, and a healthy body needs to be doing that. So, if you don't understand angiogenesis, you don't understand apoptosis, you don't understand nutrition, you don't understand exercise, you don't understand detox, you're worried about cancer, give us a call, 724-766-0154. The date is Monday, October 24th. The time is 6:30 p.m. The locations are multiple. I have a South Hills location at Gianna Villa's Family Restaurant, a Cranberry Township location at Bravo Family Restaurant. The number is 724-766-0154. The cost is only $20. Give us a call. Pay yourself and your family a huge benefit by joining us for Cancer Killers. I hope you had an amazing morning with us. Be sure to tune in again next week. God bless.
You've been listening to Maximized Living Radio with Drs. Nick and Aaron Greiner and Dr. Alex Pattison. Heard every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. here on 101.5 WORD. If you missed your chance to get on today's show, get your questions answered now at 724-776-0154. That's 724-766-0154. Or email the doctors at mlhealthessentials@gmail.com. Tune in next week for more Maximized Living Radio.
The preceding program was furnished by Cranberry Family Chiropractic.
101.5 WORD.